Welcome to another episode of Flicks Fellas. Today we are reviewing the 2020 Hulu original movie Boss Level, directed by Joe Carnahan, written by Chris and
Nice.
Eddie Borey, as well as Joe Carnahan, starring Frank Grillo, Mel Gibson, and Naomi Watts. This movie is about a man who is trapped in a time loop that constantly repeats the day of his murder. Former Special Forces agent must unlock the mystery behind his untimely demise so that he can eventually escape this loop. Now, before we get into our first reactions, if you would like to support the show, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. It helps immensely. Thank you. And now let's get right into our first reactions. Let's start with James.
Okay. Okay, Joey. Okay, Joey.
He wasn't prepared.
I wasn't. I forgot. For some reason, I completely lost track of what was going on. I was just enamored with what you were saying, Joey. Okay, so first reactions for this movie. I think, honestly, this movie was nothing special. Honest. Like, I thought it was good. It was somewhat entertaining. I think it could have been an hour long, and I probably would have been just as entertained, because there's clearly, again, on theme, there's a lot of things that repeat in this movie that I feel like you could take out, and a lot of things they drive home way more than once. So, I thought it was an interesting concept, but this isn't the first time. Like, there's like the Tomorrow War, or not Tomorrow War, Edge of Tomorrow, which was renamed to another movie.
Live, Die, Repeat.
Live, Die, Repeat, which is a far worse name. Like, I feel like that is a much better concept of like your day keeps repeating than this movie. But it wasn't bad. I wouldn't say this one, like, I had a hard time watching this one. It was a very easy watch. What was the runtime to this one, Joey? Was it like 140?
Wasn't it like one and a
little
half?
longer.
I thought
It was
maybe 140.
Oh, 140 exactly.
Bim bam. James Carroll on it. Yeah, but honestly, like, it was good. It was nothing special. Like, I'll send that over to Kevin.
I agree. It wasn't anything that stood out to me, like, as far as the movie goes. I like Groundhog Day concepts. I like the time loop, like getting stuck in the time loop. That I feel like most movies I've seen do it pretty well as of late. I mean, obviously Groundhog Day is a great movie, but Happy Death Day is a surprisingly good movie, which does the same thing. Edge of Tomorrow is a great movie, and what was that one recently on Hulu? Palm Springs does the concept
Boss
really
Level?
well. Now Boss Level. So as far as like Groundhog Day movies go, this is probably like the weakest I've seen. So I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. You can just unplug and like have it on in the background and kind of bounce back and forth, and you're fine. I like Frank Grillo. I think he's pretty good in things that I've seen him in, which are Captain America and and this. He's been decent. So, yeah, nothing to write home about, but also not the worst thing in the world.
Speaking of Frank Grillo, and like what he's been in recently, this is the second movie now in the last 2 years where he's played either like the spouse or love interest of Naomi Watts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the last movie we actually watched, Amanda and I, like randomly, it's called, oh shoot, give me a second. I think it's called The Night of, or it's called This Is the Night, and it's about a Staten Island family that like is super hyped about the release of Rocky 3, and it's way over the top love for Rocky, but it's actually like pretty funny, and like it's just funny. It's another easy watch movie. But yeah, this one I agreed with you guys. Like, it wasn't over the top spectacular. It was entertaining in the sense that it wasn't like I need to shut this off because it's horrible. Like, the acting's good, the action was good. Storyline is not super unique, but there's some interesting concepts to it. Like, I did like the fact that there was times where he kind of just gave up, and then you just, well, I won't spoil too much yet, but it's not that movie where he figures out what he has to do and then he just solves it. It's, he does have to trial and error a lot. So I did kind of like that. Agreed. There was a lot of times that they probably could have just cut it out because we saw it 15, 20 times. and we didn't need to keep seeing it. But yeah, not the most overwhelming movie. Nothing overly horrible. Actually, I do have one major gripe with it, but we'll save that for the spoiler section. And let's just get into our first reactions. So, Kev, let's start with you. Are you pressing play or keeping scrolling? Unless there was anything else you guys wanted to say.
No, nothing else. I don't think
Nothing
there's
that
anything else to
isn't
really
a
say about
spoiler.
this movie. Yeah. It's just one of those just like okay action movies. I'll hit play just because like if you haven't seen it and you're just looking for something to put on in the background, then yeah, I'm not gonna tell you it's a terrible movie. Don't ever watch it. But I was entertained for a significant portion of it, so yeah, I'd hit play.
Yeah,
James?
for this, I feel like I'm honestly gonna scroll just because I feel like there's a few movies that I would much more quickly, be like, hey, go see this. If you're interested in this concept and you want to see it done well, watch one of these like 2 or 3 movies. You know what I mean? Like this one, it's not like it takes a concept that's already kind of been fleshed out, and that's the only thing that really gives this movie any legs. I didn't think it was bad acting. I just think that it wasn't like I didn't think the writing was that great. The characters weren't incredibly interesting. So I'm gonna scroll. Joey.
See, I think that's kind of where I disagree. Like, I did kind of like the characters in this because it felt like a video game. Like, I thought he was just like stuck in a Mortal Kombat world, and that's what like was happening. I never actually saw Free Guy yet. It's literally next on my to watch list, but I feel like this would have been better off as like a Ryan Reynolds movie, just like something a little bit more comical, less actiony, more like
That's
spoof
all Free
satire.
Guy is, though, isn't it? And it came out after.
No, it's not because he's
No.
not. He's an NPC. He doesn't
Oh,
respawn.
well, same thing.
Yeah, it's but that's what I'm saying. Like this one felt like a video game. That's what I was expecting it to be. Kind of like, oh, he has the realization he's in a video game, but it wasn't that. So I was kind of happy with that. I couldn't predict that aspect. I don't know. This one's tough because it's not a great movie. I really didn't like the ending of it, but I watched it when I was on my deathbed. I had a terrible stomach bug, and I was entertained. I was entertained. So I'm going to press play. I think on this one for now.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Eat shit, James. Fuck you.
Well,
Yeah.
sometimes it'd be like
I'm-
I feel like
I'm
that frequently happens. There frequently happens where I'm just like, nah, I don't think so, and then you guys are like, no, this one's good, and then
I'm shocked. I thought you guys would have been complete opposites on this, and that James, you would have said press play because it has an entertainment aspect, and Ken was like, no, there's other better ones to watch. But we've made our decisions. Now, before we take a break, feel free to check out our website, flixfellas.com. On there, you'll see some cool stuff, more content, and it's a great way to support our show and become part of our fan page. We have a Patreon up with some cool perks. For as low as $1 a month, you can help us improve the show and create more content and create better content, whatever you guys want. Give us your feedback. Patreon is the place to do it. And now we'll take a quick word from our sponsor.